It was great to get to share my experience taking over a market-leading company like Match that for 20 years had been the dominant player in its field, and share the challenges and failures that I had trying to transform the market-leading company from an old legacy Match.com business into a new mobile-first company that's now known for Tinder. And it seems so easy to launch a new mobile app. But in fact, when I joined Match, it didn't even have its own mobile app. So I realized when I took the job that my entire career as an entrepreneur was one of failure. We failed every single day. But yet I realized that the executives that had gotten to be seniors at Match had never really failed. And so the culture there wasn't really one where big risks were encouraged, where people thought about how do you totally disrupt yourself. And so we had to undergo a lot of cultural change. And in fact, one of the most interesting things that I observed in the process of transforming Match and launching Tinder was the birth of Tinder was actually much easier than keeping Tinder alive. Because once you had this threat to the core business, all of a sudden the business didn't really distinguish between whether it was an internal threat or an external threat. Everything about the core business, how the business ran, what technology the business used, even what business processes the business used, were all going to be different in a Tinder era, in a Tinder world than it was in the heritage or legacy world. Another thing we talked about was the invisible choices that face CEOs and leadership teams in any company, but especially those companies facing transformation. And what you often get the most feedback on are the decisions you make, but I think often the decisions that can have the most long-lasting impacts are those decisions you don't make. And those are the things that are easy to do, the things where we're not going to take that risk, we're not going to try that new product, we're not going to try to invest in innovation, because no one gets upset when you don't do something, right? Your status quo continues to happen. And so, when I took over Match, there was no mobile app. And that was made simply because someone before me had made the decision that we don't want to pay the 30% fee on all the revenue that goes through the App Store. Well, in that moment, that's the easy decision to make. Margins are strong, we're still the market leader. But over time, those kinds of decisions are corrosive. And you get to a point down the road where you're like, oh crap, we don't have a mobile app. And then you're behind. And so we talked a lot about, if you're not facing challenging decisions that you are making, you should look at decisions that you're not making and see if those are actually just ticking time bombs in the organization that are going to come due later.